Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to fill this tent with excitement today. So thank you all for joining us on what really is a very, very special day for us. America's great universities are very, very special places. These are the places where we educate the brain trust for our future. They're the places where we look for the discoveries that are going to advance our nation's competitiveness, and at the same time, where we also protect for future generations our history and our culture. Carolina, as the first public university in America to open its doors, has been helping to shape the future of our state and our nation for more than 200 years. As I was walking across campus today, and looking at all of our buildings and our historic sites, it really did strike me, however, that while our origin and our history is a matter of great pride, what is really significant is what we do today. We, and all great universities, must stay relevant and valuable to society by changing with the times, by innovating, being leaders in that, and by building communities that are crucibles of creativity. To be part of such a place and to work with people whose dreams have absolutely no boundaries is, of course, a privilege that very few people will ever experience. And I think it's at this very special place at Carolina, and of course today at the Eshelman School of Pharmacy, that we are actually celebrating that specialness, that amazing privilege. We have the opportunity to work with people, the people that are here, to make possible things that can only be imagined because of the world-class faculty and students, because of our dedicated staff, because of a state that generously supports us, and because of generous, powerful visionaries like Dr. Fred Eshelman. It makes me very proud to be with you all here today at the Eshelman School of Pharmacy at UNC-Chapel Hill, because we have a chance to make an announcement of a game-changing gift for Carolina and to celebrate with all of you here today this major step forward this enables for our school, for the university, and indeed for the state of North Carolina. But I'm not going to tell you what it is exactly yet. Got to keep you guessing, going to build a little bit of suspense, and also because I'd like to take a moment really to recognize that so many people have come here to share this moment with us, and I'd like to thank a number of these people. And I'm going to ask some people to stand and then ask you to keep your applause to the end when we thank them for all joining us. So I'd like to start by mentioning even one of the people on the platform with me, and that, of course, is Governor Pat McCrory. We also have Lieutenant Governor Dan Forrest and Representative Craig Horn here with us today. I'd like to also mention President Tom Ross, of course, Dr. Fred Eshelman. I'd also like to recognize the chairman of the UNC Board of Governors, John Fennebresque, and indeed quite a few other members, past and present, of the Board of Governors. Can I ask you to stand too? Hannah and Lou, thank you. Paul, thank you. We have Lou Ebert, the president of the North Carolina Chamber, here today. You know he's here. There he is, thank you. We also have the chairman of the Board of Trustees at UNC-Chapel Hill, Lowry Cottle, here, and 8 current members of our Board of Trustees. Could you all stand? We also have a number of members of the UNC Eshelman School of Pharmacy Foundation Board. Could I ask you all to stand? It's a great day for this board. Thank you. And now, many pharmacy school students, staff, faculty members, including the Eshelman Distinguished Professors Stephen Fry, Leif Wong, Mike J., David Lawrence, and Xiao Xiao. Can you all stand? Okay, big round of applause for all of you. Okay, now I'm waiting for the drum roll. The purpose of today's event is our chance to make an announcement of a wonderful commitment by Dr. Fred Eshelman to the School of Pharmacy. Dr. Eshelman, as most of you know, graduated from the UNC School of Pharmacy in 1972. He went on to found pharmaceutical product development and Furiex Pharmaceuticals, and you're going to hear more about him a little later in the program. But what I wanted to say is that Dr. Eshelman, in so many ways, really embodies what we all seek in our graduates. He's an innovator, and he's deeply dedicated to his community. He wants to find solutions to great problems, ways to create jobs. He wants to save lives. And he is a person who lives that every day, and he uses his Carolina education to change the world. He's also one of our most accomplished and generous alumni donors. He gave $38 million to the School of Pharmacy, and that's why it's named after him, including $10 million for cancer research, $20 million to create an innovation fund for new research initiatives. In no small part, due to his amazing generosity and the work of all the people we are honoring today in the school, this school has become one of the best in the country. It's a global leader known for innovation and entrepreneurship, top 2 nationally in research funding. It has produced more than 15 spin-off companies, 131 patents just in the last 10 years. And today, I am almost speechless, but just so proud to announce that Dr. Eshelman has committed a new gift of $100 million to the School of Pharmacy. Good. That's the way to fill the tent. But this is an extraordinary pledge, an extraordinary commitment from an individual, the largest in our university's history, the largest ever made to a pharmacy school in the United States. But what's so exciting to us about it is what it's going to enable us to do. It's going to build on the momentum and the past successes and allow this wonderful school to take another major step forward by creating within the school a new center, the Eshelman Institute for Innovation. And it's going to be designed very much to support that through strategic collaborations inside and outside the university. It's going to be used to fuel the innovation, to help spur economic development across the state, and of course, to create jobs and spur new ideas and innovation. For our faculty, it's designed to help you with new resources that will allow you to engage in timely and opportunistic research, to increase your ideas about new education and practice. It is going to be able to build on a strong characteristics of this school by increasing the opportunity for interdisciplinary, cross-school collaboration. And it's going to help us take the innovation that is born right here at our university out into the state and society. We really cannot thank Dr. Eshelman enough for his continued support, his investment and belief in what this school, what all of you can accomplish, and the way he is in this way making very clear his belief in the leadership and the leaders of tomorrow who are being produced right here in this school. So it's a historic day for both our School of Pharmacy and Chapel Hill, so please join me one more time thanking Dr. Eshelman for this wonderful gift. He has a hook. He's going to pull me off if I make people thank him one more time. But now we have some wonderful other people joining me on the platform to speak about the importance of this and to talk about what we hope to achieve. And so it's my great honor to introduce Governor Pat McCrory. We're so pleased that he joined us here today, and I was kidding him earlier and saying I want him to come to campus all the time because it seems like he's always here for a great event. So this is particularly exciting, I think, for Governor McCrory because he has made clear so many times his belief in the capacity of our great universities to really invest and improve economic development and all sorts of aspects of our state's well-being and the future of the students that grow up in our state. I'm not sure that many of you know that North Carolina actually boasts the second highest number of top 30 universities in the country, second only to California and tied with Massachusetts. So we are a crucible of creativity. So please join me in welcoming Governor McCrory.
Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. Thank you all very much. Let me first say something about Chancellor Folt. I have never seen a salesman like Chancellor Folt. I thought Sharon Decker, who just left me as Commerce Secretary yesterday, was the best. This is the best right here at Chapel Hill. And I'm so pleased she's Chancellor of this great university. We need to get her to be a little more assertive, though, don't you think? Fred, this is an historic day because of you and because of the leaders in this room, because I know for a fact that you wouldn't be given this substantial donation unless you had the confidence in the leadership in this room. And as governor and representing this whole state, I just want to say thank you. And thank you for the confidence in our flagship university and your willingness to have confidence in them in investing in this incredible amount of money that you're giving to the future, to the next generation, and to the entire state. This is not just the Chapel Hill. This is for the entire state, and this is for the next generation. You know, I was last in Chapel Hill on October the 12th to commemorate University Day and the 221st birthday of the nation's first public university. And while speaking right across at Memorial Hall, I talked about our shared commitment to innovation and research to spur our state and our nation's economy. In fact, I believe innovation is the fuel of the modern economy of America and of North Carolina. Between 1/3 and 1/2 of U.S. economic growth comes from the products, services, and practices spawned by innovation. Innovation lives right here at UNC-Chapel Hill because at its core, innovation is nothing more than the application of creativity, science, and technology. We have the ingredients right here to grow North Carolina's economy, particularly in this sector that's so strong here at many of our campuses. North Carolina is above the national average in terms of academic research and development dollars. However, we have some challenges. The state is below the national average in the percentage of its businesses in the high-tech sector. To address this, we recently convened with Tom Ross and your chancellor and other chancellors throughout North Carolina, and Steve Nelson, who's in the front row, has been a big leader of this. And Steve, I really appreciate your leadership in this effort. We convened an Innovation and Jobs Working Group, and here are the 3 challenges that they listed just in the past 2 months. They've done an excellent report. The first is translation, that right now we have a challenge in inefficient development or dissemination of university-based structures and practices for technology commercialization. The second is capitalization. There's insufficient funding for technology proof of concept, validation, IP protection, commercialization, early and mid-stage product development, production, and business expansion. And third, Steve, you've emphasized this to me very strong, is operation. There's an insufficient number and utilization of seasoned, mature business professionals to run startups and guide companies through growth and expansion. Well, Fred, today's announcement will help our state achieve substantial progress in all of these areas with UNC-Chapel Hill leading the way. My goal is for North Carolina to become the third vertex of what we call the innovation triangle, the nation's innovation triangle. You have the Silicon Valley, you have Boston, New York. The other choice is right here in the North Carolina, with Chapel Hill being the capital of this innovation national triangle. And this gift helps us build up our own industry and build strong connections with the other two corners of the National Research Triangle in California, New York, and Boston, and now right here in Chapel Hill and the entire state of North Carolina. We are poised to compete nationally and internationally. And this was one of our weaknesses, that is filling the gaps of the 3 points that were made in this committee presentation just in the past 2 months. Dr. Eshelman, Fred, I've known you for a while, and I've talked to you briefly behind the room. You had a great comeback, and I'm not going to tell you what your comeback was. Do not debate this guy. But I said, Fred, this is what most impresses me about what you have done. It's not just the money. But if you've watched Fred Eshelman, he has not only given a lot of money, but he's given sweat equity. And that makes the difference in this gift. That behind this gift is sweat equity and brain equity of not only him, but the many young students that are looking in outside this tent and inside this tent. It's taking advantage of fulfilling the potential of the incredible talent that we have here, right here in North Carolina. And without people like Fred caring for the next generation and caring for the next generation long after we're gone, we would not have this successful future. So on behalf of the state of North Carolina, Fred, thank you very much, and also congratulations to this entire team who helped make it happen. Thank you. May God continue to bless this great university.
Thank you so much, Governor. It's now my special pleasure to welcome UNC President Tom Ross to deliver a few remarks. I would also say that President Ross, too, has been a wonderful partner for UNC-Chapel Hill, and I know he shares all of our excitement about this news and what it means for our future. President Ross.
Good afternoon. What an exciting day. It's exciting for our outstanding School of Pharmacy. It's exciting for the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Most of all, though, it is exciting for the people of North Carolina and those beyond this state who will benefit from this extraordinary gift through new discoveries and innovations that will be stimulated by it. I want to join the Chancellor in welcoming Governor McCrory to this campus. We appreciate your presence all the time on any of our campuses. You got your color right. That's good. And I do want to have an opportunity to share a few words with you about Dr. Eshelman, but before I turn to that topic, I want to first thank two other people. I want to thank Dean Bob Bluin. Dean Bluin is simply amazing. He is a truly remarkable leader, someone who has built this pharmacy school and positioned this pharmacy school to become absolutely, without question, the best pharmacy school in the nation. When you look at the rankings, there's as the Chancellor pointed out, this pharmacy school is number 2. I looked this morning just to see who number 1 is. I really had never heard of the University of California, San Francisco. And I only have one thing to say to them. They better watch out. Bob, we thank you for your vision, for your creativity, for your integrity, and for your leadership, and we are so, so glad to have you where you are. I also want to take a moment to thank Chancellor Carol Folt. Talk about terrific. Chancellor Folt has been here about 18 months. And from my perspective, she has done an amazing and outstanding job. I cannot imagine a leader who has faced more challenges and opportunities than she has seen in those relatively few months. And what has she done? First and most importantly, she has always done the right thing for the University of North Carolina. She has met each challenge head on and never, not even for a second, while she's tackling those challenges, has she ever taken her eyes off the opportunities and the future. She has displayed energy and a strength of character and intellect and a passion that is required if you're going to lead one of America's great universities and lead it to new levels of greatness. Carol, what can we say? You inspire us, you keep us focused on the positives, and you help us envision what is possible for the nation's greatest public university. So thank you. Now, what about Dr. Eshelman? First thing I have to say is thank you. Thank you. Thank you on behalf of the University of North Carolina, and thank you from the depths of my heart and soul. Your generosity is overwhelming, and it is unmatched. It is indeed historic. The university is forever in your debt, and our gratitude is without measure. Now, I first met Dr. Eshelman in the fall of 2010, shortly before I took office. At the time, he was serving on the Board of Trustees at our university in Wilmington, his home, and I heard that he was being considered for election to the Board of Governors. And I told him that night that I looked forward to having him as one of my 32 bosses. And I did say 32. Well, sure enough, Dr. Eshelman joined the Board of Governors in July of 2011, about 6 months after I arrived. So for all practical purposes, we started together. About a year later, the board chair asked Dr. Eshelman to lead a strategic planning effort for the university system. And Dr. Eshelman agreed. And then he decided, along with his colleagues on the board, that we needed to complete that plan before the legislative session in 2013, a mere 5 months later. Now, I had been through a strategic planning process at my previous institution, and it had taken 2 years. And so I thought at the time there was absolutely no way to effectively, in such a short time frame, arrive at a strategic plan that would be meaningful to the university. And I began to wonder if having Dr. Eshelman for a boss was a very good idea after all. The task ahead seemed unreasonable and perhaps impossible. Obviously, I didn't know him as well as I do now. Over the next 5 months, our staff worked like the building was on fire. And trust me, there were plenty of days in which I was certain that Dr. Eshelman was outside with cans of gasoline. It was intense. I think he would agree. And at times it was difficult. Fred challenged us. He pushed us, and I mean hard. He demanded that we produce, and then produce some more. But he also encouraged us, and he advised us, and he taught us. And he helped us see the possible where many thought only impossible lived. More than once, I was convinced we would come to blows. Now, we didn't, and it's because I was afraid he'd kick my... Of course, in the end, the result was, in my view, we developed a very strong strategic direction for our university. And if you go back and read that plan today, I think you will find that it has set the right course for us. It has focused us on the right issues. We still have a lot of work to do, but thanks to Dr. Eshelman, we're on the right track. And this simply would not have happened were it not for Fred Eshelman. Along the way, from my perspective, Fred and I also developed a friendship, one that I personally treasure. As I've told him more than once, I don't know anyone from whom I have learned more in a shorter period of time and for whom I've developed more respect than Fred Eshelman. Everyone here today needs to know that from my perspective, Fred Eshelman is one fine human being. Now, why do I take the time to tell you this story? Because I want you to understand that Fred Eshelman has given this university far more than money. He has invested his time, his vision, his focus, his intensity, and his heart in this place. There is no doubt he loves the University of North Carolina. Perhaps even more important, he believes in this university, and he believes in what you do. He believes in our faculty and in their work. He values the University of North Carolina community. Yes, the gift that the Chancellor has announced is amazing. It's historic. It's institution changing. I could go on, searching for adjectives to describe it and how wonderful and meaningful it is. But to me, the most important message it conveys is that Fred Eshelman, a man who has proven over and over to be innovative, creative, entrepreneurial, visionary, and successful in the worlds of science, research, and business, that man believes in and trusts this university. He understands that the university is the place where future discoveries, innovations, and entrepreneurs will be born. He knows that the university is the economic engine of our state and adds immeasurable value to our people. He believes all of these things, and most of all, he believes our university is a worthy and sound investment for him to make, because the return will come back in many multiples for many other people. His investment is dramatic, historic, and a statement of trust and confidence. It is tangible validation of the importance of this place to our state. Having a man like Fred Eshelman demonstrate in such a generous way his belief in this university, its great faculty, and what we can accomplish in the years ahead is what I'm most proud of. The statement his gift makes today is one we should all heed. It reminds us again, as I have been reminded by him since the moment I met him, that the University of North Carolina is central to our future, worthy of our time, our treasures, and our stewardship. Fred, please accept my gratitude and that of everyone connected with the university for your generosity, your confidence in our work, and for knowing a great investment when you see one. Thank you.
Thank you so much, President Ross. It's now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Robert Bluen, Dean of the School of Pharmacy. I think everybody here knows, and you've been hearing, that he has been an incredible driving force behind the tremendous success and the growth of the Eshelman School of Pharmacy over the past decade. His strong leadership absolutely was the critical factor in seeing this amazing commitment come forward today. He has shown time and time again his ability to work with people, to bring out the best, to see the future, and to be very hard-nosed about making sure that it gets done well. And I think I'm seeing some nodding from some of the faculty and the students in this room. And that's exactly what you need when you see something historic like this, is you have to be sure it's going to the right place at the right time. And I feel that so completely. He has also been an amazing, strong, and valued colleague of mine. He is a visionary and a team leader, so please join me in welcoming Bob to the stage.
Thank you, Chancellor. Thank you very much, Chancellor. Governor McCrory, President Ross, Dr. Eshelman, Chancellor Folt. It's a real honor for me to be here today. I had a quandary, though, when I saw the program. It had 5 minutes for Dean Bluen to speak. Now, I thought how I would manage that. Dr. Eshelman has a reputation of being somewhat parsimonious in his words, and so I thought maybe I would buy a few words from Dr. Eshelman, but then I realized I couldn't afford it. If you, for those of you looking at me, if you turn to your right, that is the location that I first met Dr. Eshelman. Do you remember? It was in Trailer 41, that magnificent 35-year-old double-wide trailer that I was placed in when I first arrived here in 2003. Thank you, Chancellor Meeser. And I can remember my first meeting with Fred in that trailer. I think the first thing he must have thought, $20 million doesn't buy what it used to. But during that time, Dr. Eshelman gave me some important advice that I have paid close attention to over the last nearly 12 years. First, he told me, don't be afraid to take risks. You will not achieve greatness unless you take a chance. He also told me that you must hire the very best, you must recruit the very best, and you must retain the very best. That we are in an era in which the critical differentiating element is the quality of the people. And he told me, lastly, that you must constantly commit yourself to the pursuit of excellence, no matter what it takes. And Dr. Eshelman, I think we have all tried very hard at the School of Pharmacy to heed those words and to follow your lead. This past year for me personally has been a year of reflection, and no more than to reflect on the essence of what a great public research university is and how important it is not only to us who have the privilege of occupying this space, but for the people of North Carolina that we serve. The mission of this university and the mission of this school as a uniquely research-intensive university that aspires to lead has a very distinctive place within our culture, within our environment. So one might think that articulating the mission of a contemporary university or school is rather simple. We are here to train the next generation of citizens, prepare them for important roles within our society. And there is no doubt that that is part of our mission. But we must do so much more. And in my conversations with Dr. Eshelman very early, he, better than anyone that I've spoken to in my academic career, understands the full connectivity between a research-intensive university and the importance to society, and our burden, our responsibility as leaders within this environment to do the right things. And so as I think about our own mission, is it just to teach? Is it just to do scholarship? I think I would have to say now, after my own personal experiences with Dr. Eshelman and others, that I would have to answer that no. The people of North Carolina expect more of us. They expect us to lead. They don't expect us to follow best practices. They expect us to create best practices. They don't expect us to teach out of textbooks. They expect us to write those textbooks. And they don't expect us to just simply create new knowledge, but to translate that new knowledge into important, impactful things, not just for ourselves, but for the world. And that is the vision of Dr. Eshelman. This center, or this institute, is intended to accelerate our opportunity, not just as a school or as a campus or a university, but as a state. As we are in an important period in our evolution as a university and as a state, to demonstrate the value proposition of what makes a great public research-intensive university so important. Our school, in its own way, is trying to make its contribution to that effort, and is no longer adequate for us as a school, as a faculty, to simply say that we will protect and wait. We must accelerate. We must accelerate at the point of the idea generation, and we must accelerate all the way through to its natural fruition, which might result in a cure for cancer, a cure for AIDS. Many of the priorities that we have already established on this campus. The Center for Innovation is going to create an opportunity for every one of our faculty, graduate students, to rapidly accelerate their ideas and to bring those ideas to a place where they can have maximum impact. It will create an opportunity for not only our faculty, but for our colleagues across this campus to work together, to collaborate, because I believe that Dr. Eshelman fully understands that the only way that we will solve the complex problems of the world is by working in teams, a lesson he has learned throughout his own professional career, that this is a team sport, and that there will be tremendous opportunities for us within our discipline to cross over to other disciplines across this campus. As I walk Columbia Street, Cameron Street, South Street, I personally am struck by the excellence that surrounds me and how we have such a wonderful opportunity as a school to take full advantage of not only the collaborative culture, but the intellectual strengths of all of our faculty, staff, and students. I believe that this is at the heart of this gift. A gift, I believe, of confidence in this university to take all of this talent and take the best ideas that we can put together and to accelerate them to fruition. It's a phenomenal opportunity, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, I think, for most of us. One that I hope will fully translate to all of the expectations that Dr. Eshelman have for us as a school and as a university. I've gotten to know Fred very well over these last 11 years. I've been very fortunate to work with him on our Board of Visitors. And one of the things that I have observed about Dr. Eshelman is that he is an incredible listener. Now, we present topics across a very wide sphere. Our school has a mission that is very broad, as I think most of you would imagine. But we could talk about almost any topic. And within a very short period of time, Dr. Eshelman has that unique talent to distill all of that information, all of that data, down into something that is so salient and so poignant that he is always capable of asking the perfect question. Did you ever have someone who could always ask the perfect question? Now, unfortunately, that was often directed at me. But it is truly a gift. And I believe that what was said by the governor and the president is absolutely true, that Dr. Eshelman has put a lot of sweat equity into this university and into this school. And personally, that's what I have gained most from my relationship with Dr. Eshelman. So today is a historic day for, I think, all of us here. After Fred and I and David Ruth drove back from Wilmington not too long ago, I sent Dr. Eshelman a note. And I simply told him that words were inadequate to describe to him my appreciation of his commitment and confidence to us as a school and a university. And with that, Fred, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you for everything that you have done for me, for our school, for this university, and for the state of North Carolina. Thank you. I was kidding Fred a little bit. You know, he didn't realize that he was coming to a roast. I think we've been quite kind to you so far. Actually, this is the opportunity for Fred to say a few words. Again, on behalf of all of the faculty, staff, students of the UNC-Eshelman School of Pharmacy. But I also believe, Fred, that this is a gift that will transcend this university and will be recognized by our profession as a gift of confidence for pharmacy and pharmaceutical sciences across the globe. Let me introduce Dr. Fred Eshelman to you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here today, Governor, as well as the President, the Chancellor, the Dean, lots of dignitaries, and of course faculty and students. It's a pleasure and an honor to be with you. I feel so fortunate to be in a position to be able to help the university. I've been very lucky. I'd rather be lucky than good. So thank you. As you know, this school is more than 100 years old. This university is more than 200 years old. Both have grown from very modest beginnings to excellence in education, research, and service. However, none of us can rest on our laurels. We must be relentless in our pursuit of preeminence, and I mean preeminence. This requires focus. It requires a dogged determination to be the best. As T. Boone Pickens once said, if you're hunting elephants, don't get distracted by rabbits. We cannot get to the top and remain there without a combination of talent, and that's both faculty and students, facilities, and vision. Some of these things require money, and they're actually interdependent to a degree. As you know, this is a tough environment for additional state funding. And therefore, if we are in fact going to increase the pace to attain our goals, the private sector must make the investment like never before. It is one of the best investments we could possibly make for our children, our neighbors, our friends, and our fellow citizens. As part of that investment, and as per the Institute, we must help in the translation of ideas and research into products, into services, and into tools that will be good and useful for our citizens. And we must also help to give a more direct return to the taxpayers of this state. All that said, when I look to make an investment, I look at the underlying thesis. I look at the technology and whatever. Equally important, if not more so, is leadership. We now have that leadership in the system president, the chairs of the boards of governors and trustees, the chancellor, and the dean. And so therefore, I think that we truly have the prescription for success. And before I leave you today, I just thought I would give you Groucho Marx's idea of leadership. And Groucho said, there's only one man in 1,000 that is a leader of men. The other 999 follow women. Thank you.
What do you say? Just got to enjoy that. That's so wonderful. But really great and good. I'm going to say that we definitely appreciate and we love your prescription, too. Before we came here today, we had the chance to actually sign a letter expressing this commitment and our collaboration. And I have to tell you, I don't think there ever has been or ever will be another moment in my life where I have the privilege to sign something that I think has the potential to move an institution and all its people forward in this way. So that was a wonderful opportunity. We all felt that moment. And when we asked Dr. Eshelman what he really wanted, what he said, and faculty and students, just listen to this. This was his gift in words to me. He said, I want to supercharge the faculty's great ideas and support their talent. And nothing anyone could say could ever make a chancellor more excited than hearing someone saying, I want to supercharge your ideas and your talent. And I think that is actually a moment for all of us to really take the responsibility that means. It isn't a moment where we go, okay, we're going to just continue doing things like we've always done them. This is when we return that pledge back to Dr. Eshelman and say, at this very moment, we're going to supercharge it too. So I fully expect over the coming years, we're going to see things coming out of this amazing school at a rate that we've never seen before, and it is going to be such fun watching all of you as that takes place. So I thought we might end by asking right now all the students, the faculty, and the staff in the Eshelman School of Pharmacy to stand for a moment. Yes. Stay up there, stay standing. This gift is your supercharge. And what an amazing moment it is, but it is here because of the work that you already do. This doesn't just happen with a dream that it could happen. It's really based on all your accomplishments so far and the belief that you're really ready, wanting to do everything you can to take it even further. So we really want to thank you. And now I want to ask you to join me in thanking everyone else here, because we have all the leaders of the institution, we have leaders from the community, we've got members and friends of all the staff and administration in this institution. So let's just take the tent down, thanking everybody for this. Now, we'd love you all to stay. We're going to have refreshments. We have an incredible cake that we're going to cut and share with you in a few moments. But I think we could just end by yelling, "Go Heels," because we got to do it at least once. So on 3, 1, 2, 3, go Heels! Thank you, everybody.